ECF 2040. Hello, do you think about the environment? There is an eco-friendly oil that helps improve the environment and people's health. Would it really be possible to mass-produce this oil? Yes, it is possible. Let me introduce the solution. ECF 2040 system. The pictures on the screen are scenes of crude oil being exploited in oil fields. These pictures show the mining of crude oil from the oil field, which is stored by moving through the pipeline to crude oil storage tanks on land using large transportation means. Then, when production conditions of refined oil are formed in a refinery, the refined oil is introduced into the plant through a pipeline from the crude oil tank to be separated and kept by oil type after refined. The whole process of refining and storing the oil before delivery to the consumer was divided by industry and seen as a reference. The oil refined at the refinery is largely divided into 5 types. In addition, there are items to create petrochemical raw materials, but with exception of those items, we will talk only about the diesel oil and bunker oil and introduce the 2 industries. It is used for aquatic industry and land, sea, and river public transport, various types of construction sites, various kinds of cargo transportation, etc. We take a look at each of the industries to be used in numerous plants, even for military operations, various industrial engines, and thermal power plants. Now we'll take a look at how the oil refined at the refinery is transported. Various carriers that are refueled at the refinery are transported to the desired place, and the carriers are transported to intermediate storage tanks of each region through an oil tanker, oil tank lorry trucks, or oil tank lorry trains. Now let's look at mobility in different regions. Here you can see remote villages, mountain ranges, small islands, and other special areas away from cities with difficult mobility. We have already taken a look at a variety of industries that use oil and areas with difficult mobility as described above. The starting point of the process is from a refinery as you see on the screen. We will now explain the issues one by one, from production to use of oil. First, do we need to build a refinery in areas where mobility is inconvenient? Is it even possible to build a refinery? Or is it just a dream? Let's explore the possibilities further. The first step is to look for areas that use diesel oil and bunker oil. The city sky during rush hour. The skies of industrial areas. The bottom of the screen shows ships which pollute the atmosphere at sea. These are the second and third questions to consider, but first, let's move on to the next issue. We have already seen how oil use in many industries causes serious pollutants. The effects of these pollutants are pictured here. Because of these things, Earth and humans get sick. Let's consider these 4th and the 5th questions and move on to the next segment. This slide shows the scene of oil supply crisis taking place today due to causes such as oil price rise or imbalance of crude oil supply and demand, changes in the dollar value, etc. This is the 6th question to consider as we move on to the next segment. This slide shows how the more oil you import, the more national wealth will be drained. This is the 7th question to consider as we move to the next segment. Here we see how oil can create sudden catastrophes. This is the 8th item to consider. Finally, the most important consideration is the Davos Forum. The presidents of 195 countries gathered and made a new agreement. That agreement relates to greenhouse gas emissions. They agreed to reduce global warming temperatures to less than 2 degrees Celsius. These 195 countries will work to reduce greenhouse gas emissions annually and will monitor one another every 5 years. This is the most important issue for the future. We'll put the 9th question here and move to the next segment. The solution. At this point, we have 9 questions to consider. Are there any solutions to these 9 issues? A powerful solution. There's just one solution globally available. The system visible here is the answer. Only ECF 2040 can solve at once all of the issues in question so far, and the system continues to advance. When utilizing the ECF 2040 system for diesel oil or bunker oil refined in the refinery, 3,000 liters of diesel oil per hour is inputted as the part of the main raw material to be converted and produced into eco-diesel oil. With the addition of water, the oil of 600 liters per hour is additionally produced, totaling 3,600 liters eco-oil per hour. First, here we see the atmosphere of a city changing. Second, the atmosphere at sea changing. Third and fourth, you can see our ailing planet revive and ill humans regain a healthy life. Fifth, the dream became a reality. It is a small-scale system with a simplified manufacturing plant facility that installs ECF 2040 for island villages and mountain regions, so it has the same effect as a large factory. Sixth, in the past, the more oil we imported, the more national wealth was drained. The opposite phenomenon occurred by introducing this system, so we see national wealth accumulate. Seventh, in the past we often suffered from oil crises due to a number of factors. However, after the ECF 2040 system was installed, it helped create a more stable day-to-day life. The eighth issue relates to national safety. Even if a disaster due to oil occurs, distributed installation of the system mutually backs up to minimize the nation's risk. Ninth, the Davos Forum was held in 2015, where leaders of 195 countries of the world gathered and discussed the environment and agreed to decrease global warming temperatures by 2 degrees Celsius or more. The ECF 2040 system has considerably reduced the weight of the Davos Forum and instilled competitiveness through a flexible policy. As seen above, we suggested an alternative solution to the two types of environmental problems for diesel oil and bunker oil, fossil fuel. Now we'll address the economic value of the production. Let's calculate the hourly production of eco-diesel oil. If you input 3,000 liters of original diesel oil refined in the crude oil refinery per hour and 600 liters of water into the ECF 2040 to be mixed, 3,600 liters of eco-oil transformed will be produced. As you saw before, 3,600 liters of diesel oil per hour will be produced with 600 liters of water and 3,000 liters of diesel oil. If you multiply by 24 hours, one-day production will be 86,400 liters. If you multiply again by 365 days, the total production per year will reach 31,536,000 liters. Among them, the original production of diesel oil will be the one combined by 26,280,000 liters of diesel oil and 5,260,000 liters of water. The result comes after 10% is deducted from the above production amount. The reason for the 10% deduction is that we calculate 10% as mechanical maintenance and troubleshooting time and time of operational stoppage. So if 10% is excluded, 23,652,000 liters of original diesel and 4,730,400 liters of water are consumed. And the actual total production of eco-oil will be 28,382,400 liters. Among the eco-oil produced, only the additional production amount mixed with water is 4,730,400 liters. If you calculate it based on the pure gain and use the figure multiplied by the retail prices at which it's sold in the country, you will get the sales amount for the total additional production amount for 1 year. The information on the screen shows the calculations by applying a virtual number in advance for helping you better understand the business. Now I will explain the ECF 2040 system in more detail. Pictured here are the parts of the important areas. This display makes all system operations visible at a glance through the program. This screen shows the flow process in which diesel oil and water are mixed into eco-diesel. This picture shows what you have seen in a little more detail. If industrial water H2O is introduced and processed, it will be converted into H3O2. By mixing the converted H3O2 with diesel oil, the mixture will turn into eco-diesel oil. This is the conversion process of eco-diesel oil. During the process of eco-diesel, as you see on the screen, a mixture goes through ceramic balls. This is a simple specification for the system. I have put a creation of eco-diesel into photos. The left picture shows fresh eco-diesel in a bottle. The middle is eco-diesel of 24 hours after formation. The right picture is a comparison between the two. What you see on the screen is that a new creation of eco-diesel is burning in the test. The flame marked in the small circle shows burning hydrogen. This is a certificate of an accredited test by the K Petro Research Institute on water-mixed eco-diesel oil. This is the content of the final page of functional details. This is the content of the certificate and the comparison of a reference point. This demonstrates the excellence of the eco-oil that we have produced. This is a patent for eco-oil manufacturing. This concludes the offer for the ECF 2040 system. If you want to see the product manufacturing process by this system with your own eyes, please feel free to contact us. We'll be pleased to have you witness the production of this system.